making a video of the neighborhood here. You can hear the call to prayer in the background. Let me start it up. This is the neighborhood, or this is the apartment, of course. So we'll start our little adventure from here. I'm not sure how long I'll be driving, because sometimes it gets a little challenging to get through the roads on a Friday. But hopefully we see something kind of interesting to give you an idea on what it's like driving around over here on the weekends. Of course, this is locked so people don't come in here and park, because parking is atrocious here. So this is the first battle you always face every day, is getting down this road, which, as you can see, is a little bit of a challenge. Of course, on the weekend there's no traffic, so that's always good. But this is our hood. You can see people, mostly Pakistanis and Nepalese and all these other Indian type cultures over here walking around. You'll see them walking with like a little rug. That little rug is a praying mat. Like you can see that one has it on his head. He takes that over and then he uses it to pray. Kind of interesting. This is our little local roundabout here. There's a mosque to the left, so you'll see probably quite a few people walking to the left. I'll drive around the roundabout real quick. You might be able to get a glimpse of the mosque. But this is what it's like when people are going for call to prayer. You can see that right there. Lots of people going into the mosque. Sometimes people block the roads and people will be praying in the streets. But we'll keep on trucking along here a little bit so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. So you go down the road here. This is actually pretty tame. A lot of times they'll be walking in the entire street where you can't even access anything. You can't drive down the road because they'll just stop and start praying in the street, or they'll just be walking down the middle of the street. So it gets a little challenging to drive sometimes. But this is my neighborhood. See, people don't really worry too much about the cars. They'll just kind of walk right in front. And then of course there's just people who stop in the road. I have no idea what he's stopping for, but that's what he's doing. I'll drive by the previous apartment, which is right over here. Again, it's Friday, so there's not much traffic. Usually this little stretch right here, you have to stop 2 or 3 times just to make it through, because oncoming traffic will be driving in your lane, and between people walking and cars parked, there's hardly enough room. It's more 1 lane than 2 lanes sometimes. This building over here on the left is my previous apartment, which is right here. Again, you can see people drive crazy. So this building right here is where I used to live, but I don't live there anymore because it was just impossible to shower, to do all kinds of things. It's a shame you can't see my rearview mirror right now because there's a guy like right on my butt and flashing his lights, which is what they do when they want you to get out of the way. So we'll just drive around, circle back around to the front. I'll go back into the neighborhood. I'll drive around the edge. You might get to see some people driving crazy, but probably not on a Friday, because there's just not many people on the road. So I'll just keep on cruising. I'll point out anything I can think of interest on the way. Again, people just kind of stopped in the middle of the road. Not really sure why. It happens constantly. that building right there, they make bread. You can go in there and get bread for a really good price. But it's not like loaf bread, it's more like tortillas kind of, but they're Middle Eastern tortillas. They taste different and they're thicker, and they're actually pretty darn good, but they taste a little weird. This over here is when we want to get some McDonald's for breakfast. We'll come over this way because there's a McDonald's up here on the right. There's also a Papa John's, which is our local Papa John's that we get food out of. Let's see if we can creep out here real quick. Sweet, all the cars are turning. I have to drive down this street sometime during the day when it's normal business. Yeah, there's Papa John's and McDonald's are right here. And people just kind of park in this lane, so this road becomes pretty challenging. Because you never know where to stop. There's no parking. I mean, you have to just find somewhere to park. That's basically the only way to stop and get food here. Sometimes you park in the street. A lot of people park in the street, just honk their horn, and then the people that work inside come running out and they take their order right off the street. I live in a place called Umm Ghuwailina, but they pronounce it Umm Ghuwailina. Yeah, and people just park wherever during prayer time, so that so they'll park in the street or wherever they want. Keep on cruising through here. See if we can get through. There's a mosque on the right. You can't even get through right there. They've blocked it off on the right. So we'll go down to the next exit. Just cruise over here. Probably not going to be able to get through here too quickly because of the people praying. So we'll see what's going on. Oh, okay, it looks pretty light. Doesn't look bad at all. I've had to stop here before during prayer time because they get in the middle of the street and they'll just start praying. They'll get their pray on. But you can see they're all walking to the prayer right now. When they're walking to the prayer, it's not too busy with people. It's actually pretty light because everyone kind of comes, at their own time. But then when prayer lets out, all these people leave at the same time, and these entire streets just become blocked. I'm not even going to try to navigate it at that point, so it gets really crazy. So you got to be careful because you'll just get stuck here and you won't be able to move. And yeah, here they're praying in the street. So let's see if we can get through here. Not looking promising. Okay, yeah, they're gonna move for me. Okay. I'll show you here. Slowly make our way through. Let's not kill anyone. Alright, here we go. Yes. So we made it through. Gotta love call to prayer. It's truly an interesting experience driving around here during call to prayer. Which you really shouldn't be driving through here, but it's the only way I can shoot the video. I can't walk around with a GoPro on me, or otherwise I'll get in trouble. Because you're not supposed to GoPro or video or take photos or any of that other crap whenever you're near a mosque. But it's the only way I can show you what life is like here, so I kind of have to. And everything's always under construction. You're never not under construction here. And the way they do construction here, like here, they just take it down to one lane. Not really too much warning, not a whole lot of signage. They just kind of take it off, and then you'll have a 40-foot drop on the other side of that barrier. They definitely don't have OSHA to control. But yet, on our construction sites, we have to comply with OSHA. We have to comply with the local code, which is pretty light. But we use OSHA because we're a U.S. company. interesting drive going through right here. See if we can make it if we don't get stuck. We shouldn't get stuck, not on a Friday. But let's see if we can go through here. Now see, this is where it gets interesting. There's a car coming, and I want to go that way. So let's see if he turns left or if he wants to go straight, which is through me. One of the two. Looks like he wants to go straight. Okay, then I will go around. Oh no, looks like he's turning. Actually looks like he doesn't know what he wants to do. Huh. Okay, well, we'll keep on cruising through here. Hopefully another car doesn't come, because that always makes it awkward. And let's hope we can fit. See if these guys move. They did a little. They did when I pulled up next to them, that's for sure. In my SUV. So let's go this way, and we will head back to the park for our quick little drive through Umm Ghuwailina, my hood. These guys don't seem to respect the fact that there's a big vehicle coming behind them. Slide right through. They're about to block this roundabout with people in the street praying. So it's 11:30 right now. By 11:45, you won't be able to get through here because people will be in the street praying. Okay. You can see people on the side. I don't know if the wide view can catch it, but there's people over here on the sidewalk praying. We'll be able to get through here in a second. Pretty narrow. Let's see if we can get through here. Yeah. Sweet. Didn't block. The guys on the left, they play cricket. You might have saw the cricket bat and their ball and all that they were carrying. They're going to play cricket up here on the left. There's a huge park. It's the airport park. And they have a huge soccer field. People will go over there and play cricket. This is, on the left is the parking lot I used for work whenever I lived in the other apartment. I would have to just find somewhere to park here. And of course my apartment's right there on the right. I'll drive by. The office for work is right here. It's this building right here. It's a Chevy dealership in the bottom, but then above it is where I work. I work up on the 4th floor. And you can see the street pretty well right now because there's no traffic. But usually this is where you stop, and you can't go very far because there's so many cars. Because cars will park on this side, they'll park on this side, they'll block the middle, and then someone will stop and then let people out of their car, because there's also a visa thing for Germany in the building. So a lot of times it'll be blocked, and this just becomes a big nightmare with traffic. Of course, my bank is right here, so everything's in walking distance. That's my bank, HSBC. This, I'm not even going to try to go down that street. We call that Stinky Street because they put the garbage out in out in the street. So all day long the garbage sits there in the sun and bakes and gets to smelling nice and nasty. So, but again, I just mainly wanted to show you what it's like during prayer time driving around in the neighborhood. It's interesting. I'm gonna have to go around because the street's blocked. So let's jump out here real quick. On the left there's Crown Plaza, really nice hotel. We had Thanksgiving dinner there. A group of about 15 of us. On the right is a couple of hotels, but you can't really see them because of the trees. So let's dip back in and go through my roundabout one more time before call to prayer gets full on, so that we can still get access. I'll have to record driving whenever there's actually cars on the road, because you'll be amazed at how people drive. It's pretty funny. This hotel on the left is where I stayed for the first month I was here. That's when the company was paying for my residency and getting my visa squared away and everything like that. So this is where I used to walk to get my laundry done. This is the path I would take whenever I would get my laundry, my dry cleaning done. I'd have to walk all this route to the dry cleaner, and then I have to go down to the left, and then go right, and then go left, and then meander back in the streets. I'll show you where I get my haircut. It's kind of a funny place. I get my haircut, and I just made a big square. Right now I'm on the opposite side of the square from my apartment as I drive around here. But this place on the right is where I used to get my haircut, or is where I get my haircut. I don't know if you can, you can't see it. The angle's probably going to be too funky. I'll do the roundabout real quick, and then I'll tell you when we're facing it directly on. It's this place called Al Shark Gents Hair Cutting Salon, which is right in front of us right now. That's where I go to get my hair cut. There's the guy who cuts my hair. That's why I waved. I guess he's not going call to prayer, okay. Yeah, they've already blocked the street, so I am not going to go that way. I am going to go a different way to get back home, because if you try to go through there, you get into a lot of trouble with the Muslims if you start driving through there once they start blocking the street. And again, this is one of those awkward moments where there's a car coming at me and it's really only enough room for one way. So let's see what he does, and then we will action accordingly. Oh, sweet, he's turning. Okay, so now let's drive over here. Ah, crap, I'm gonna drive through water. The water's probably nasty. Nasty as hell. We'll drive through it anyway. Okay, let's cut through. Then we'll go through right here, not hit any cars. Sweet. Go this way. Any cars coming? Nope. So we'll cut through this little back road I know that gets us to the apartment. It's not exactly a road, but it'll get us there. And a lot of times over in this country, you'll see that sometimes you can't take an actual road. You've got to take just the route.